All right, tonight we are going to go over our pricing spreadsheet. The first part of this weekly call will be this, and we'll be showing you guys how we do our almost annual pricing sheet. Again, I didn't do it last year just because we moved into a new space, but we're doing it all over again this year, so you'll see everything's pretty empty on here when I start. I don't want to be influenced by a lot of things of past stuff. Let me let Glenn in there and share again. Again, I don't want to be influenced by past numbers or anything like that, so I just clear them all out. So these were all in here and everything like that, so I just clear them all out, and then I will re-input them. I did leave the labor, what it takes to do this. This is what we figured out before. You'll have to figure out what yours are on how long it takes you to do a tray of that. That's what you got to figure out. This is probably lower, but I always just keep it higher because why not? And then you have to figure out what your labor cost input is there. So this is where you want to put there your labor cost from inputs. So where I first start is inputs, because you got to know what your inputs are. So this is where we're going to start first. You can get your kilowatt hours on your power bill usually, or their website, or wherever your power comes from. Typically you can get that from them, so you can put that cost in here. For us moving at the space here, it is 0.01934 for commercial power, which is a lot less than what we were paying at the house. At the house we were 0.21 cents for that. So and this is going to just calculate the power it takes to run the lights on the shelves. There is some extra costs and everything else to run the building and everything like that, but most of us are probably in our house still, or in a facility we're not paying for, so it's only going to be the extra lights that you're paying for, cost, maybe some dehumidifier, humidifier, whatever you got, and that you kind of just figure it as overhead cost, because it's a hard number to figure out otherwise, but you can do your average bill before and take that and figure out the overcost. But you can find that kilowatt hours. Lights per shelf, we do 1. Trays per shelf is 4. So this is all going to divide numbers there, and how many hours the lights are on per the shelf per day is 12 hours for us. If it's 16 for you, put 16, whatever there. And then your soil costs, important number here. We are paying for our Costa Maine seed starter. We're paying $18.70 a bell. The bell size 2 cubic feet. We're getting 16 trays per that, so it's roughly $1.17 per tray that it costs us, and this number will go over in there. These do have formulas. Anything if you get this sheet, if it has formulas in it, make sure you don't delete them formulas, because you want to keep them. And then packaging costs, another big cost in this business. These are yellowed out because we don't use these size anymore, but I just went and left them in here for references. We don't use the 16 or 8. We used 8 for samples and stuff like that. Little things like beets we were taking to the farmer's market, but we don't use them anymore. So we do use the 24s for everything that's retail packaging, not restaurant. So we $42 a case, 200 a case, gets us 21 cents per package. We do the 8 ounce or 64 ounces for 8 ounces of products going to restaurants. So them are 40 cents a piece. These are good numbers to know. So now we're going to go back over our crop cost sheet here, and you got to know your seed costs. So, whatever you're buying your seeds at and everything like that, I'm going to go through this with you guys as we go along here. So peas, we are paying $131 for 50-pound bag from Johnny's. Seed density is 9.5 ounces. You can play with this number if you're using grams, or you can figure out what it is difference or whatever you need to do, but we use... I started the sheet back then, we used ounces, so I'm still going to use the ounce number because I don't want to change that. So peas are under the shelves. They're under the light for 6 days, so a little bit less. And we are averaging 18 ounces yield on that. So the seed cost per tray is $1.56. The electric to do that tray for 7 days or 6 days under light is 7 cents. So total cost of tray is $4.79, and cost per ounce is 27 cents. These numbers are important to get the ounce because they're going to fill in over here. So I'm going to run through this real quick and put my numbers in. 50-pound bag. So if you guys need anything, you know, while I'm doing this, just let me know. We are 7 days on that, and we are we are actually getting around 30 ounces on sunflowers now. Actually, about 36 last week. So,
And
I'm
Mike,
just,
how long would you track your average yield for to get a good average? You talking like
we do it every week. We write it down just because we
right,
want to keep track of it for orders. So, like if it yields go up or down, we change it in seed leaf.
right.
So that way we know what we're actually needing to grow.
So me
Because
not being a real consistent grower right now, would you suspect like if I'm just doing a rack a week, with my different varieties,
mhm.
and if I do it over like a course of a month's time, would that be a good enough average to take then over that month, or just start plugging in what did I have on the first week and just keep adjusting this as I go through it?
Every month probably would be good for yourself. I would keep track of it every week and then use an average over
Right.
the month.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Exactly.
it-
Okay.
yeah, for sure. Yep, that should be good for you or anybody else that's growing at that volume.
Yep.
Uh, so broccoli, 243, get 25. Seed density on broccoli is 0.7 ounces. 7 days under light. And the average yield on broccoli is actually that is 11 ounces now with the Coast of Maine. So 35 cents for broccoli is what's costing us. 33 for sunflowers. Radishes, 143.30. 25-pound bags we get. We are seeding at 1.4 ounces. 7 days under lights. And 22 ounces on that. So it's costing us 16 cents for that. Spicy salad mix, 258. This is from True Leaf. It's the spicy salad mix from True Leaf. 25-pound bag. Average days lights 7. Labor's the same. Average yield on spicy salad mix is about 8 ounces. And that's costing us 49 cents. I had some things in here we no longer grow, so I took them out. So I'm just going to skip that right now and come back if I need to. Arugula 137.75, 25-pound bag. Arugula is at 0.7 as well, like most of our brassicas, if not all of them, I believe now. And arugula, we are averaging yield wise 8 ounces, so it's 45 cents an ounce for us. Beets 107.42. I have all these numbers ahead of time, obviously, going through this, so you want to get that all together if you need to ever to do this. We are seeding at 1.4 ounces. 40 grams, yep. So that is under lights though for 10 days, 7 days. Oh yeah, we're on a 10-day grow with that now. That's right. And we're getting 8 ounces off of that. Deep tray for the win. Cabbage, 256.64, 25-pound bag. Seeding at 0.7, 7 days under lights. And the average yield on that one is 11 ounces. So we are getting 35 cents an ounce is what it's costing us to produce that. Kale, 315.44, 25-pound bag, 0.7 ounces, 7 days under lights, and we are averaging 11 and a half. We're going to call it 11 just for round numbers. So 37 cents an ounce there. Leeks, 140.46. We get that in 5-pound bags because it just hurts to get it in 25-pound bags. And we don't go through that much of it, so we don't need it. And it is 1.4 ounces of well, or 40 grams. And that is under lights for 2 weeks. But we germinate it for 5 days, so 9 days? 8 days? How many days?
It's a 17-day growth.
12 days under lights. 12 days under lights. And average yield is 8 ounces?
10.
10. That went up. All right. Wheatgrass. This is a hard one. because we do not cut it. We do not cut it. If I could talk. Seed density is 8 ounces though. And it is under lights for 4 days. And average yield is always hard one on this ones. So I just put 8 because it's 8 trays that we do. So 27.45, because if you don't know, we deliver that in 5x5 containers versus cutting it. Makes it a little bit more profitable there. And amaranth, we also get in 5-pound bags. And that's at a 0.2 if we ever grow amaranth by itself. And I am on cilantro. Thank you. So cilantro is 172. And we get that in 5-pound bag, 25-pound bags. I jumped around there. Sorry, 1.4 on that. It's always good to have a second set of eyes to help you out. And cilantro is under lights for 10 days. 10 days. And the average yield is 8 on that one. So that's 51 cents. One of our more expensive ones. That's why it costs more. And now I'm going to go ahead and put amaranth in here. And amaranth's at 63.54 to 5-pound bag. And if we ever see that by itself, it's 0.2. And it would be under lights for 7 days. And average yield is 3, 4. So there's your most expensive one, $1.06 on that one per ounce. That's the reason why we put it in a mix, just because of that. So I think we have all of our seeds. Is that correct, Jess? Okay. So that's all of our seeds. So this is all the individual seeds that we got that we plant by themselves. Huh? Oh, basil. We need to add basil in here. I will have to get basil numbers. We gotta have basil. So we will come back to that once Jess gives me the numbers from the back room. But yeah, so we'll go over that when we get it. So that's all the individual seeds that we plant if they're by themselves. Now we do mixes and everything else. So we got this sheet also set up down here for mixes. And this references this what's up here. Whatever matches up there, it will pull down that number down. So you could put it anywhere. It's going to pull up whatever name of it is down here. So there's that. It's going to pull that name down and have that in that right order. So every one of these have that. So I'm going to go through here and make sure these are still the same. Even though they should be the same, they might have moved around. We might have moved something, whatever. You always just want to check everything. So this is our sampler pack that we give for one person. It's peas, sunflowers, 32% each. Broccoli at 16%, radish at 16%, and spicy at 4%. That is correct. Powerhouse is speckled peas at 50%, broccoli at 25%, kale at 12%, cabbage at 13%. Crunchy salad mix, sunflowers at 33%. That is wrong now. That is 50%. Peas and broccoli are 25% each. 1 ounce, half ounce. Yes. So that we changed that mix up right there's a change that we did. So just to make it more streamlined for our operation. Salad booster, same way. That is now 50% sunflowers and 25% on broccoli and kale. Smoothie is also 50%. And then 25. This just helps streamline our operations. So spring is now 50% and gave it a good better mixture as well. Ultimate greens, same. 25 on that. Brassica blend is 50% brassica or 50% broccoli, 25% cabbage, 25% kale. Veggie confetti is, I forgot to put cabbage on there. So that's cabbage as well on there. Jess, what would you say the percentages are? 5% amaranth and 10% cabbage. Okay. 15. That does not math correctly. Make sure your math maths. That's the reason why this is here. To make sure you are at 100% when you're done. Because you just seen that, and it will turn green as you've seen. So, like, I was wondering why that was still red. So, if you see that, it turns red, like, hey, that's not the right percentage. You need to fix something. So, that's just a math correction area there. All right, I think that's all the mixes, correct, Jess?
Yes, and I gave you the bagel number in your chat.
Okay. And I can't get to the chat in this screen, so that's not going to help me, dear. When Sharon, I can't get to the chat. I don't know how to get to the chat. So there we are. There we go. Okay, basil numbers. Let's go back to that and fill that in. Basil 62.25 for 1 pound. Disgusting. And we seeded at 1.8, we're going to call it, because we do that by grams. So that is 5 grams. So it's 1.7637, but so we're calling it 1.8. Always round up if you're going to do that. And days under light is 17. Oh no, 28 days under light. Sorry, wrong one. An average yield, we're doing 6 on that. So that's $1.13 an ounce. So, any questions or comments so far from anybody?
Mike,
Yep.
quick question, and sorry to go backwards, but
No, you're fine.
I was watering when we started here. Electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Could you go back to that tab real quick?
Yep.
So the cost per kilowatt hour, where do you get that from your electric bill?
You should be. It's either on your electric bill or on this. They might have it on their website as well. They do have to share that number, but it should be on the power bill, right? Yeah, it should be on your power bill. It is here anyway.
Okay.
If not, they do have to share that information with you. So
And then your watts per light, you got what, all T8s? Well, you've got
Yeah.
T8s and T5s.
yeah, we have T8s and T5s, so it's kind of a. I do need to probably make an adjustment to the sheet, and we only use the T5 for basils, so I do probably need to make an adjustment to the sheet to fix that. But typically, everybody's got what they have in one set. If you do have multiples, I will be making adjustments to the sheet. But
Okay. Oh, that's all right. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
if you're doing 2 T5s, it's 40 watts, so it's really close.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's probably a negligible difference then.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, those are my questions.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. I will keep moving on. So now we got our seed prices. We know what it much costs us to get every ounce of seeds, what it's going to cost us. That's the most important number here. Labor dollars, this is you need to put in here whatever your labor hours are. Ours is roughly about $20 an hour. Once you figure out everything, it's going to go up, which I'm going to have to refigure out because minimum wage goes up. So now I got to give my employees raises as well. And you should yourself as well if stuff goes up. But, Illinois is settling in at $15 minimum wage now. So it'll be our last adjustment, hopefully, in a long time. But so you have to put whatever that is in there and then figure out what your labor is there as well. But that's the only other thing I needed to point out there. So now we're going to figure out what the what we're making off of a retail packaging. And that's where some of this input numbers are going to come that we're going to have to put over here. I don't have it set to go over manually, automatically yet, because it would just fill everything in and you may not have this filled in. So I just didn't do that. So one package of peas, because this line will go straight over. So this line matches up with peas, okay? This line matches up with sunflowers, so on and so on.
So Mike, real
yeah.
quick, back on your labor, that's like all labor included. So that's like planting, harvesting, packaging, watering, like
Yes.
everything involved.
Yes.
Okay.
Everything involved in growing that one tray. And that's
Yep.
numbers we figured up how long it took to do one tray by hand, everything like that. No automatic stuff or anything like that.
Okay.
Because, planting doesn't take long really per tray. It's your harvesting that's going to take the longest. All right. So we do $5 retail on a package of peas at 2 ounces, and that's where you're going to see this number go in and go down. All that numbers are coming up here of your total profit. In the package, again, that's where you get for your input here. We use a 24 ounce one on all of these, so it's going to be 21 cents for us all the way down on that. So you can figure in your delivery cost too if you know what it is and everything like that. I know that we spend way too much on fuel, obviously. So I'm gonna figure this up real quick. It's about $160 there. The van payment is that. Insurance is 800. Divide that by like. Down. Yep. Can you let Kyle in? So doing math on the fly, guys. So delivery cost per package roughly is about 19 cents. We're gonna do. So that's total profit of $3.96 for the piece. Everything that we do on this pretty much is $5. So I'm just gonna fill that in. Everything we pretty much do is 2 ounces. I'm just gonna fill that in. Our packaging, 21 cents. The label, this is what you have to figure out how much you're paying for your ink in your label. That's for your cost. That's where the inputs go here, 11 cents for all that down there. And then all the packages are going to be 19 cents. So we can fill that in really quick. There's 2 people in the waiting room. Thank you. Okay. So that's that. And I don't know why that number is not. Oh, it's an empty cell. That's why. So I'm going to take them numbers out. And that one as well. Out. So for a retail package, we make $3.96 on peas, sunflowers $3.84, $3.79. You guys can read this all the way down. You can see if we did a retail package of basil at $5, it would be $2.23. We do not do basil on retail. That's only restaurants. So I'm taking that out. Amaranth, we don't either. I'm going to take that out because we don't do them. And I usually just go ahead and like black that out, red it out. Like we don't do that. Whatever you want to do there. This one I will black out just because there's nothing there. This is just so I know that nothing's funky, that I've checked that. And we don't do cilantro at retail either, although we would make still good money at it at $3.46, not bad. So in the wheatgrass, we're making $3.94 per 5x5 basically on that. The label's still 11 cents. The packaging is on that would be different. So that is 29 cents per package. But you can see the labor's a little bit less because you don't have to, go through and harvest it and pack it and do all that stuff and everything else. So still making $3.86 per 5x5 on that. Pretty good profit. So now we're going to roll over to our restaurants pricing, which Jess, I don't have that numbers. You were supposed to give me them numbers. All right, so that's that. So we're going to go down here and finish the retail out here while she gives me them numbers final up. So the sampler, we still are charging $20 for that. That's in the 64-ounce container. So that is 40 cents for that. Not bad. The label, still the same label, 11. Still going to be same delivery. So making $19.30 off of $20. Pretty good. The Powerhouse is $5. I think all the rest of this is $5 per that. Oh, I forgot to put, that's the reason why that's, so this is 12 ounces. I forgot to put the ounces in here, guys. I do apologize. And now these are all 2 ounces. We have changed to that, so they're the same. Package would be 21 cents still for all of these, so I'm going to fill that in. Label's going to be 11 cents as well. And delivery is going to be 19 cents as well. So you can fill these numbers in pretty quick when they're all the same. If you have different numbers for different things, that's why they're there, which we did have in different ounces and stuff. But yeah, all these are really good profit margins here as well. So all 350 and above mixes are really good. I do highly recommend mixes because you do get good profit on them. Any questions on mixes or anything like that, or anything else you guys got questions about?
Hey, Mike, I think I've asked this before, but what is really the difference between I know this is more detailed, and we can save this for later if you want me to. It's not really on the cost. It's on those two that are the similar ones. Sunflower, broccoli, and kale for both salad booster and smoothie booster. What is really the difference on those two? There's no difference. Is it just the naming for you guys? Like you have one in one market?
Actually,
one in
you
another?
know what? You brought up a good point. We did change that. So this needs to actually have cabbage in it
Oh, got it.
now. And so these are all 12 and a half each and 25 on that one. Thank you.
Okay.
I missed that. See,
Got it.
you guys
Okay.
are helping me out. Yeah, so that's the difference
Yep.
now. It was very similar. You were correct.
Yeah.
In the past, it was very similar, and we decided to make the change on that to make it a different product.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Cool.
And that's
Yeah,
the beautiful of this sheet. You can make quick changes like that. I heard somebody else.
Yeah, quick question, Mike. So on your labor for like speckled peas, it's really 10 cents a tray?
Yeah, because peas just don't take that long to harvest, which is your biggest chunk. It's 0.1 hours.
So the soaking, I mean, I'm not focusing on peas, but I just wanted to validate the
Yep.
tray cost. So sunflower is higher.
The harvesting.
Okay, because of seed hulls.
Seed hulls, yep. And you have to go through and make sure you're checking them. Like peas, you can just whip through it and cut.
Right.
So it's basically all the harvesting when you come down to it. Because the peas are really quick to harvest. They do take, like broccoli is really quick, but it takes a little bit more time to harvest. Peas don't take long to harvest versus that. And the soaking, it really don't take long to weigh out peas and per tray. Now we're weighing 48 trays at a time, so it takes a little bit of time for that. But overall, the whole tray cost, per tray.
And you entered that field, it's not calculated?
It is not. This is because every tray is going to be different, so it's going to be really hard to do it. I
Right.
could create a formula and you could go through and do it if you really wanted to, but we kind of just did this in the beginning. So I'm still holding true as that is, most people, 95% of people are probably still in their house growing. So this is what it would be like if I was still in my house. So that's the number I'm using. It is slightly different here, but it's higher here. So I'd rather keep it higher than lower.
Okay. And that's cents, not fraction of an hour.
No, it's fraction of an hour.
Oh, it is. Okay. That's what I was missing. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
key.
I just looked up 0.1. It's going to be 6 minutes, right?
Mhm. A tray of peas takes like 1 minute to harvest.
Yeah, but 6 minutes in total. So you're
Yeah.
saying for the
Yeah.
7 days, 6 days of watering, planting, harvesting,
Yep.
about a 6 minute process on a tray.
Yep. And it may be different for you. So. And then sunflowers are just annoying because of the seed hulls. Any other questions?
So Mike, I'd probably have to add it because like when I sell at retail, they're charging me to like a commission to be in that store, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I need to add in like that
They
cost.
charge you commission?
Yeah. So in my markets that I'm in, they're taking part of that money from me to be in that market.
Oh, we will
Right.
get to that. That's
Okay.
here.
Okay. Got it.
That's the wholesale price.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. I was like, I'll probably have to add columns, but you already have that figured out for me. Thank you.
Yep. So, yeah, we have a retail, a restaurant, and a wholesale column.
Okay, got it. All right.
I thought they were charging you extra just to be in the store.
No.
Because I've heard of that for other products, but not produce. But
Yep.
so. Yep. All right, so we're gonna put restaurant pricing in now. I'm gonna need to keep it here just so I know which product it is. So my screen's not that big. So I'm gonna go to order sunflowers. We're gonna do all these in 8 ounces. You can do them in multiples if you needed to or whatever, but I'm gonna do them all in 8 ounces because that's pretty much all we deliver to restaurants. So sunflowers, we are at $19 for 8 ounces. The package is, I forgot now, 40 cents for the package, which is going to be, I'm just gonna fill that in roughly to there and put it in for peas as well, because that's what it's gonna be. We don't do labels anymore for restaurants, we just write on them. So really that's a zero cost now for us on the labels, but it depends on if you need a label or not on them. Peas are also $19 at 8 ounces. Then broccoli, we are at now $25 for 8 ounces. Then we're gonna go to radishes, and we are at $25 as well. Spicy salad mix, I think that one is a little higher. That is 28 for 8 ounces. Amaranth, if everybody wants amaranth, we have to go down here to the specialties. And this one is 22 for 4 ounces because it is way more expensive and we're probably not making enough on it. Basil, also especially, that is 26 for 4 ounces. Arugula, I lost it, there it is, 25 for 8 ounces. Beets is 34 for 8 ounces. Cabbage is 25 for 8 ounces. Kale is 25 for 8 ounces. We keep our prices pretty similar and keep it less confusing as possible for the restaurants. We don't do wheatgrass there, and cilantro is 42 for 8 ounces. So let's go see what our profit is and make sure we're still making money. 1647, you guys can see that. 21, 23, 23, 17, 21, 21, $30 for beets. You can charge a premium. $29 for leeks, premium. $37.48 for cilantro. You can charge a premium. Them are specialty crops and you can charge more for them. So that's what they're there. We don't do, obviously, any of these to restaurants, the mixes of any kind. There's occasion we will do, actually, we do, I do take that back. We do the veggie confetti, which is down here. So if you do any of these mixes, which we do the veggie confetti down there, so that's $28 for an 8 ounce container. Oh, forgot that. Package is 40 cents, label 0. I do need to put the delivery cost in there as well. So I need to add that in up here. So boom. All right, and we don't do the brassica blend there yet. We haven't offered that. So that is the only one. I am correct, right? So that is the only one that we do to restaurants. That's a mix that we custom mix. So we do have avocado places taking it and other restaurants as well. They do love that one because it's got a lot of color in it. So here we're going to talk about the wholesale, Nancy. This is where we get to the wholesale pricing of everything. So we do roughly 30% almost all of our grocery stores. We personally sell it for $5 retail. They can charge whatever they want. We do have some grocery stores that are selling it at $5.49, $5.99, $5.29. It's whatever they want to charge, as long as they don't charge less than $5, because it's hard for us to go to a market and sell it for $5 if they're selling it for less than that. So we do ask them to keep it at that price. So this is all going to be $3.50. I'll just fill it in and delete what I need to delete because it's easier that way. Boom. And then delete that one. These again are all 2 ounces a pack. So this makes the sheet faster when you can go through and just delete for the stuff you don't have on there. So the package still is 21 cents. So fill that in, delete that. Label's still going to be 11 cents. All these numbers are pretty much the same, unless you did different labels for wholesale and stuff like that. That's the reason why I left it in there. You may do a different retail packaging, you know, if you're just doing home deliveries or something with a different kind of label versus going to a grocery store or whatever. So fill that in, delete that out, and I need to delete this row out because it doesn't have anything. I think I put that in the wrong area. Boop. Oh, the wheatgrass, that's why I didn't do it. Okay. So I'm gonna delete that out because I don't have to have that. There. So this is where you're gonna come up with your wholesale pricing. Now, you're basically, you know, off a retail price, you're basically making half money if you want to look at it as that, but you're still making it up in volume. You know, we deliver somewhere between 30 on some grocery stores up to 100 packages on some grocery stores a week to them. So you're making it up on volume. If you ever did this one as a retail, which is leaks, which we don't want to do, as a wholesale. So we're going to delete that one off as well. Leaks we can do there, but we would never do that wholesale just because of the cost of it. Cilantro we're not doing as well because of the cost of it, because $1.96, we're not making enough money there. We'd have to charge more for that one. So we take that one off. You got beets as well here in line 15 that we would not do. We're going to take that off, although it's still pretty good because our yields are getting better off of that. An arugula, we can do wholesale, but we really don't do it wholesale either. It just doesn't last long enough in a grocery store, in my opinion, to do it by itself. That's the reason why we don't. And amaranth as well on that one. We don't do either. So the numbers look better because we only do certain packages as wholesale, but we do all of these as well. Mixes. Well, not that one. That's the sampler. We don't want to do that one at $3.50. We definitely would lose money. Fill that in. We would be at 21 cents on a package. Fill that in. We're going to be 11 cents on the label. Fill that in. 19 cents on that. Fill that in. And still making really good money. The last one. The veggie is the one that we make the least off of. And it's right at $2. We used to do that an ounce and a half. We just wanted to streamline everything and went to 2 ounces on it just so we could get the profits up on it a little bit. But really, overall, the mix and everything else of all the products that we sell it's fine to be at that. It may not be as profitable, but it's still profitable. So that is it. So that is filling out the sheet to know if you're profitable or not on your products and what your total cost on everything is. The main thing you're going to want to make sure, like this is the biggest thing, make sure you're making money on per ounce. And then you can figure out what you need to charge for your area, what your costs are for everything and like that, and put it in here. And then you can play with your numbers. If you're like, man, I need to make more money because cost of living's here a lot, you can always change that to $6 and it's going to move that up. But always just check your profitability, make sure you're comfortable with that and what you're making. So, and your delivery cost is going to be different. Your labels are going to be different. Packages probably will be different. So your numbers may sway to that and everything else, but you can always just play with the numbers and figure out what's best for you.
So Mike, on delivery, you're taking into consideration, obviously, gas expenses, insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like a per mile that you try to get?
I am just doing overall cost, so I do my monthly
cost.
cost on it
Yeah.
of what the fuel is, what the cost of the vehicle is, what the insurance is, and then I figure that out what it costs to do the delivery. Now we are still personally doing the deliveries. If I had somebody else doing deliveries, I'd have to add some probably more labor on either the products or onto the delivery cost.
Okay.
So it'd have to go somewhere, but since we are still doing deliveries, it's not really a cost, so I don't figure that in there. Now it is on still the cost of the trays because it takes the time to do the trays, so it'd be one way or the other. But yeah. Any other? We got 15 minutes till the next time of the meeting starts, so I will leave that screen up. If you guys want to look at it, if you
Just
want
out of curiosity, you're not doing beats in wholesale, right?
No, I think I took that out. So I do that. Just restaurants and retail I leave because we do it at the farmer's market,
Gotcha.
but not wholesale. One beats would not hold up in a grocery store. Just not the right environment for it. Now, if I did do wholesale, there was a bigger, like if we were doing distributors that were doing restaurant distributing, then I probably would be doing it wholesale and have to figure out what that number would be. But so wholesale can be anything that you're, grocery stores, distributors, CSAs if you're doing it like that, or whatever it would be that you're not getting full price.
Kind of answered this before, but how often do you or recommend you update this monthly, or how often do you revisit this?
In the beginning, I would update it monthly, just because my seed costs would change,
Mhm.
especially in 2021 when we were buying seeds. They changed a lot, all the time. So really, anytime you buy seeds, you should go to this because everything else would be fill in. So every time you buy seeds, you should go in and change this number, whatever the price is at currently, and then that would give you your current profit. Everything else should be pretty much the same.
Our electric rate changes monthly.
But yeah, our being in commercial space, your electric can change monthly as well.
Right.
And yours might change at your house monthly. Ours pretty much stays the same at the house, but in the warehouse it changes monthly. So that number might change.
Well, it's good for average yield too, right? So if I know we're only getting so much per yield for, I don't know, cabbage, but if I know there's room to grow that, then I can play with those numbers as well. If I can
Yeah, for
increase
sure.
the yield.
Yeah, in best practice, if you really, really, really hone in on it, it is monthly. You should do it, or anytime you buy seeds. If you don't buy seeds every month, your yield, like Nancy was saying earlier, going in and changing the yield on a monthly basis to make sure you're accurately profitable and stuff. That would be 100% best packages, but at least yearly, at the minimum yearly. But I used to do it every time we bought seeds. I'd come in and change the number and put it in there. At least that.
Mike, how about your rent? How do you realize that? And you're not realizing that in this, right?
We're not. It's just an overhead expense. Yeah.
Okay.
So anything that's overhead that doesn't directly affect the growing process is not really in here. Besides the delivery costs of fuel and stuff like that, because that's directly related to deliveries, directly related to the product. You could go in and you could add a column on here if you wanted to, and add in if you have an overhead expense that you wanted to put in over here and figure it out. But then you got to figure out, okay, how many packages did I do the month, and divide that by that to get the true cost of it per package, per
So,
ounce. Like you really
right.
got.
It's better on a monthly calculation outside of this, it seems.
Yeah, it really is. That's your overall bookkeeping at that point, that you have to do. Hopefully monthly, you're doing that. Because otherwise it gets really behind really fast.
Heh. I wouldn't know what you're talking about.
It's not towards the end of the year or anything where everybody's worried about that now.
No comment.
But yeah, the overhead expenses are just hard to figure out, obviously there's a little bit more of power that goes into the building as well. That's just not just lights, but that's just what it costs to grow the tray. So that's also another expense that would be in there as well. What's above and beyond that?
Yeah.
Your rent's going to be, if you have rent, it's going to be that as an overhead expense. It's pretty much the only two real big factors. Water is an expense that you would need to figure out too, if you really want to dive into it. But again, water is fairly cheap, that it's not going to make that big of a difference on it, depending on your situation. Here, it's fairly cheap, so I don't think there's any other overhead expenses come to mind. No. Unless anybody else has got anything that they would have overhead expense wise.
Heating, cooling, insurance.
Yeah,
those are
power.
the-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, insurance. Yeah. All that fun stuff, government, yeah.
Taxes,
What? Taxes?
property taxes if you own.
Yeah, just kidding.
Oh, sorry.
Get a good bookkeeper, guys. Save you a ton of money on taxes. Legally. Don't do any shady stuff. Yeah, so there's other expenses, obviously the insurance, bookkeeping expenses, tax accounting expenses, some stuff's just overhead. You just have to have, so. That would be a very long, complicated sheet.
Right.
Basically just wanted to have numbers of what it costs to grow a tray and per ounce. So you have to think about that too, as what the profitability number is. This is 396, but it may be in reality 375. If you wanted to really dive in and figure out what it costs and how many packages you produced over that year. You can get really nerded out and spend a lot of time on that, and then you don't grow your business. So. But if you're making $3.50 to $4 per package of microgreens, you probably should be making money. All right. And we'll stop sharing the screen because I don't think you guys want to see that anymore. If you do, let me know. We will be getting into general Q&A. That is a different link because I want to post this one in the. It's this. So, but we can do some general Q&A here too if you guys want, or whatever you got. If you want to share anything or as well.
Put her bed out. She kept coming out here, standing here, looking at it.
Oh, yeah.
She'll come back.
We do have two of our newest members here in here as well, Royce and Kim, and a fairly new one, Glenn, as well. So welcome in, guys. Be talking to Royce tomorrow on a call. If you haven't booked your roadmap to success yet, make sure you do that. And then had a good conversation with Nancy this morning. So thumbs up.
Yeah, Mike, I do have, so my markets, they are charging me. I mean, I do pay a commission to be in those markets. So sometimes I have spoilage that I have to take on myself, right? So if it doesn't sell, it comes back to me.
Okay. So
Okay.
is that your grocery stores or?
Yeah, two of my markets that I'm in. I'm in their store, they can market for me. I basically rent the space. Is what you want to call it, for lack of better terms, right?
Yeah.
So those are the markets I'm in. If I have things like that spoilage, I'm gonna have to take that into account then. Cause I go back in, I pull off the shelf what doesn't sell within 2 weeks.
Yeah. I highly recommend don't doing that for anybody else that's on here.
Yeah.
You have zero control of the product once it leaves your hand and it goes in the grocery store. You don't, if their cooler breaks down, you have to
Right.
take all that back. That's not fair to you. Somebody takes your packages and puts it over with the bananas and it goes bad. How's that your fault? You know, like it's just once it leaves my hand, I have zero control of it. They bought it. That's what we
Right.
do. So going forward, I'd highly recommend trying to go that route
Yep.
with places because they can get most places. Most people I've seen done that have gone out of business.
Okay.
There was a good one out in North Carolina. He was online all the time and everything else, and he was in grocery stores and stuff, and he's no longer around because he was doing commission sales in grocery stores.
Right. Right.
And he got in quite a few, and you start multiplying that up and over, it gets very expensive very fast. So going forward, try to get away with that. Obviously, you're probably where you're at in that stuck. So, but manage their inventory down. I'm going to manage it down to where there should be running out every week.
Right.
That's what I would do. And if they say something, say, well, I'm taking on the risk of it being here, you know, and it's costing me money and everything else. I can't do that. If you guys want to go to a different setup and you're purchasing everything I'm bringing, I'll bring whatever you want and fill up your shelves. But as a small business owner, it's really hard for me to take on that risk.
Yep.
And we try to do that with all our grocery stores anyway. They let us manage the shelves and all that stuff and everything else. And I'm upset if we ever waste a product. I don't like it. I don't want it down there. I don't want a bad product on the shelf. So we try to keep their inventory to what they're using every week, and we keep track of it and all that stuff and everything else. So we have very minimal spillage or anything like that. But we have had grocery stores, their coolers have gone down, and all the products have gone bad. That would have been 30 products that I would have had to buy myself. So.
Right. Right. Okay. Good stuff to think about.
Yeah. And that's for everybody else. I wasn't, you know, you got to do what you did do sometimes too to get into places and start selling as
Right.
well.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
um,
Building business.
yeah. But definitely going forward, and now you're established and you're in all that and everything else. I definitely would start going the other direction as much as
Okay.
possible, or you just manage your stuff down, you know.
Right.
So you're not. I don't know how much you're wasting or how much is going bad, but anytime you got to buy something back, basically, it's
Yeah.
painful.
Yep. It is.
So yeah, manage it down. If they're only using 5 products of whatever that product is, that's all that I would bring them and have them on the shelf for that week.
Right.
So if they've
Okay.
had 3 left, I would only bring them 2, you know, stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, but definitely pull them after 2 weeks. Yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah, for sure.
They probably last 3 weeks, but by the time somebody gets it to their house, it's going to maybe last a day, you know, kind of thing. So. All right. I'm going to jump off this one in this call, and we will get into general Q&A. So make sure you guys join us. I'll start that as soon as I jump off of here. All right. We will see you guys over there.
Thanks. Bye.